listening to the Dr. No Show on WHIT Radio.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Morning Buzz. Here with me every morning is Mr. P.
Morning.
And myself, Brandon Barris. And coming up here on the Morning Buzz, we're going to give you the latest news on Syria. And, of course, Bill Clinton and Barack Obama were seen at a fundraiser together. And, as always, we have our series on the President of the United States and our country of the day. Make sure to also stay tuned in for our sports segment where me and Mr. P will talk about the NBA playoffs and the tough road for the Devils they have ahead for them. But first, here's today's headline news. Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee celebration reached a climax Tuesday, but the monarch's elderly husband, Prince Philip, was absent for the service of Thanksgiving at St. Paul's Cathedral. The prince, who is 91 this weekend, is recovering at a central London hospital with a bladder infection and is expected to remain under observation for several days. He is uncertainly disappointed, the Queen's press secretary said in a statement Monday. Syria announced Tuesday it's expelling some diplomats from 11 countries a week after those nations expelled Syrian officials in a coordinated response to a massacre and the government's violent crackdown on the opposition. And now on to what Mr. P is going to talk about today. Why even happy workers lose interest in their jobs. And also world stock markets fall as Europe worries rise. And is soda really bad for you? And Mr. P, why don't you start us off with why happy workers kind of lose interest in their jobs?
Okay, thanks, Brandon. It's no surprise that engaged and happy employees are a great asset for businesses. But new research has found that engaged employees to become disengaged can turn into a company's worst nightmare. That's because disengaged employees exhibit many negative and harmful behaviors at work, research finds. In a survey of more than 1,000 white and blue-collar workers, researcher Wayne Hockwater found that engaged employees said they had better job satisfaction, performance, and satisfaction in life. Additionally, engaged workers were more committed to their employer and less likely to leave their organization. Basically, engaged employees work harder. But disengaged workers that weren't connected to either their boss or their overseer were also reported to produce less, have more stress at work, and basically demoralize not only themselves but others as well. They were less cooperative and basically not as much as the others a productive worker. So that's that story. We have a new poll now in Wisconsin. Today's primary day. People are voting all over the country, but one of the tight races is in Wisconsin. It's a very important race. It may forebode what is going on with the presidential races. And two public opinion polls released on Sunday show Wisconsin Republican Governor Scott Walker with a lead of 3 and 6 percentage points 2 days before the election. This is a very important race, as I said before, because basically it's going to forecast maybe what we can expect in the presidential race between Romney and Obama. This Governor Scott Walker has kind of been a union buster. He's taken away collective rights of the union, and it's been a big Democratic push to get him out. So we shall see how that goes. Also on the local front, we have a very interesting race between Congressman Rothman and Congressman Pasquale, and we'll see how that comes out. And another story that I'm going to report on basically is soda, the risks of soda. We all love soda, at least I do.
I don't.
You don't. Well, you're ahead of the game. I really like it. I've drank too much of it, but it is an empty calorie drink. Recently in the news, Mayor Bloomberg said that he was going to ban all soda that is more than 16 ounces in a 16-ounce container. They say that if you drink just one soda a day, you can put up to 15 pounds of fat over the course of a year. Many teens consume more than one soft drink a day. Many are 3 or 4. They say that you should not have no more than 6 teaspoons of sugar for adults, 3 teaspoons for kids. So many teens are consuming 34 teaspoons a day, mainly through soft drinks. So guzzling soda sends blood sugar spiking, and over time this can lead to increased risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and maybe even cancer. Researchers at HSPH say people drink as little as one 12-ounce soda daily are 50% more likely to have developed metabolic syndrome. Okay?
Okay.
So that's what's happening with soda. Back to you, Brandon.
And here's our final news story before we get into the rest of the show. Former President Bill Clinton and President Barack Obama tag teaming their criticism of Republicans on Monday night, taking swipes at the GOP and its presidential nominee a round of New York City fundraisers. Today in history, in 2004, former President Ronald Reagan died. So on 2004, former President Ronald Reagan passed away. Today's birthdays, it is Mark Wahlberg's birthday today. And Mark Wahlberg is a very, very good actress. He starred in movies. Actor, I'm sorry. He starred in Boogie Nights. Actually had his own song, too, Good Vibrations. He also starred in a movie, The Big Hit, The Perfect Storm, Basketball Diaries. So a very productive career, and still probably more to come from him. So he's done a lot of stuff. He wrote a song. He also was he was an original member from the New Kids on the Block in 1985. Yes. So he's very, very good.
He was in a boxing movie last year. He played this fighter called Ward.
That's right, yeah.
And I think Christian Bale was won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. So it was a very good movie. Right.
Well, Mark Wahlberg, if not one of the best actors, he's up there. Our series on the presidents of the United States continues on. Yesterday, we did Theodore Roosevelt. Today, we're going to do Woodrow Wilson. And Woodrow Wilson was born on December 2nd, 28th, 1856. He was the 28th president of the United States from 1913 to 1921. He was a leader of the progressive movement. He served as a president of Princeton University from 1902 to 1910. And then as the governor of New Jersey from 1911 to 1913, running also against progressive Bull Moose Party candidate Theodore Roosevelt and Republican candidate William Howard Taft. Wilson was also elected president as a Democrat in 1912. So, Mr. P, we're kind of moving up into our top 10 presidents now, with the presidents getting more and more popular, I guess, as kids and adults would know the presidents from. So can you tell us a little bit more on
Woodrow Wilson? Was the president during World War I. I think he was one of our best presidents. I would put him in the top 10.
Right.
And he was involved with the League of Nations, which is the forerunner to the UN. So very progressive president, very important president. So, I would say top 10 presidents.
Right. And our country of the day, and we've been doing this for about a week now. Yesterday we did the United States, and today we're doing England. And the reason we're doing England is because today is the 60th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II, and they're celebrating that over in England. They had fireworks yesterday. It was all over the television. So here's what's England's about. It shares land borders with Scotland to the north and Wales to the west, the Irish Sea to the northwest, and the Celtic Sea to the southwest. Most of England comprises the central and southern part of the island of Great Britain in the North Atlantic. The country also includes over 100 smaller islands, such as the Isles of Sicily and the Isle of Wight, or Wheat. I don't know how to say that. But yeah, England is a really, really popular country. It's been around for I don't even know how many years, for forever to me.
Couple thousand at least.
Yeah. I think I know England the best from, I guess you could say, soccer. They play so much soccer over there.
Manchester, right?
Right, they're probably, if not the biggest country that has to do with soccer, probably they're up there in that top 10.
Right.
So yeah, England, really not too big of a country, but nicely sized.
Well, it's a small country. It really is a small country. I don't think it's bigger than maybe the state of Alabama. So it is small country, but that small country at one time dominated the world, basically.
Right. You would have never guessed
Western
it.
world.
Right. If you would have looked at a map today and you said, "Wait a minute, they controlled you would have never thought about
India.
it.
They
Exactly.
controlled India.
Right.
South Africa, South Africa,
Right.
United States at one time when we were their colonies. So they really had a great reach, power reach.
Right. Well, today is somewhat of a sad day on WHIT Radio. It will be the last time I'm doing Country of the Day, and today's birthdays for this year.
Right.
So it's been great doing the Presidents of the Day and the Country of the Day for
tomorrow
the past month and a
be
half.
Yeah, tomorrow will be Brandon's last day here. We'll do an all sports show tomorrow, but I just want to say it's been a pleasure doing these morning shows with Brandon. He's really been, very motivated, easy to work with, and I think for the most part the shows have been very interesting and entertaining and informative. So, Brandon, congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. And next year, hopefully, we'll have an even better show because I want to keep on progressing and keep on giving you WHIT radio listeners the best possible news I can give you.
Right.
But today's random fact, rubber bands last longer when they're refrigerated. So if you have any rubber bands and they're laying on the table and you want them to last longer, well, you know what? Open up that fridge and put them in there because that's how they're going to last longer.
Did not know that.
In sports,
You'll learn something every day from the Morning Buzz.
Exactly. There's not a day that goes by that you don't learn anything from WHIT Radio. In sports, the Spurs lose 108 to 103. And Mr. P, the next game is kind of going to be the deciding factor for the Spurs and the Thunder because
I agree.
The Thunder are home for the next game. So let's say if they win, it will be hard for the Spurs to go back home and win too.
They can't.
When the Thunder are really that great.
They can't. If the Thunder win on Wednesday, it's over.
Right.
So they can't even go back home.
Oh, that's right. It's 3-2 now. So, but if the Spurs win, then the Spurs go back home, and then they have 2 games or at least one to take their series and go to the finals. But another series that is also tied at the moment is the Celtics and Heat. They're at 2 apiece. Game
they play tonight, right?
What? Yeah, they play tonight. They play tonight. And that's another game that's going to be a deciding factor for both teams.
Right. I think Bosch might be back tonight.
Right. Bosch's day. He was listed day today.
What? I think. Yeah, he's making his playoff debut today.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So
that'll be. That could be a big factor if he's healthy. If he's not, it might be a detriment. But who knows?
I think the Heat need him. I think even though they have LeBron James and Dwayne Wade,
they
still need
definitely
Chris
him.
Bosh.
Yeah, definitely Chris Bosh. Very important part of that team. So we'll see what happens.
And for New Jersey Devils fans, it's really been a disappointment. Lord. They lost yesterday 4-0, and now they're down 3-0.
Right.
And Mr. P, the Devils have really dug themselves in a hole that they might not be able to get out of.
Yeah, I think those 2 overtime losses at home were just devastating. You've got to win at least one of those. And they came out 0-2 from New Jersey. Now they go to L.A. They lose the first one there. Does not look good, but anything can happen. And we'll play one game at a time from now on, but they definitely have to win every game that they play from now on in.
Yeah, nothing but a winner. You can find yourself going golfing or something.
They put themselves in a very, very precarious position, but, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I think it'll be really disappointment for the fans and for the team owners just to not even win a game in the Stanley Cup.
If Yogi Berra said, it's not over till it's over.
Right, exactly. even if you're down 3-0, you never give up. You still want to come back. And
you just look at it upon it as one game at a time. And we got to win the next one. Then we got to win the next one.
Right.
But you can't look, we got to win 4 games. We got to win 1 game. And then the next game, you take it 1 game at a time.
Right, but, being a player and since I play, a bunch of sports, if you're going down, 3 losses in a row in the Stanley Cup, your mind is going to be going all over the place. You're going to be thinking, if I make one mistake, our team could be done. So you never know what's going through a player's mind. You never know
very difficult
how it's going to affect their performance or whatever. But the Amazings yesterday lost 3-4 against the Cardinals. 5-4. Unfortunately, couldn't get the sweep. But the Mets are back in action tonight at 7:05 against the Nationals. And hopefully they can sweep them as well and keep on this winning path, and maybe even a historical path like Johan Santana did over the weekend with the no-hitter.
Well, they should get some of their players back, like Jason Bay. I think he was supposed to come back today, but he's sick. He's ill with the flu or something. They'll have Ruben Tejada be back, and Chris Young will be back. So they've got some people coming back that should help them. And Johan Santana, they're going to put him off till Friday. They don't want to, tax his arm any more than they need to. And I think they're going to limit his pitch count to 90.
Yeah, I think he threw 130, right? During the no-hitter?
830.
That's a lot of pitches.
Or something like that. That's a lot for him. I don't think he's ever thrown that, even without arm surgery. So, they're gonna really keep him under wraps here and take it real slow with him. They don't want to lose him for the season or have a setback with his arm, so they're going to baby him now for the next game or 2.
Yeah, I think you kind of do have to baby him in the early point of the season. Once you throw a no-hitter, he threw 132 to be exact. Yeah. But, when you throw that many pitches, then to come back just on 5 days rest and throw another 100, that's going to take a toll on your arm. I don't care, how good you are, how much of an ace you are to your team. You got to, take care of your arm, and you want to have him, as Mr. P said, for the rest of the season. You don't want him to come out, halfway through and have to go through surgery again.
You don't want him to do that. So, anyway, the Mets have surpassed everybody's expectations. I think everybody has to agree that their manager, who I think has done a terrific job, deserves to be rehired. I don't know why they're waiting.
Right. I think, as you're saying, Mr. P, nobody really thought the Mets were going to be at this point. Just absolutely nobody would have thought they'd been at this point now. But Terry Collins has really done an amazing job with basically no superstars. The only superstars they have on the team are David Wright, that's playing good.
Yeah.
Jason Bay, I don't even know where he went. He just fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Ike Davis, he can't even swing a bat. So Terry Collins really deserves a lot of credit for the work he's done with these players and the Mets. It's really
he's got them playing well, smart. They're playing winning baseball, and as you said, they really don't have a superstar. David Wright is playing like a superstar, but outside of him, they really do not have really a superstar or a star. They have a lot of players. They're playing well. Playing good team ball. Their Achilles heel seems to be their relief pitching at this point, but they're playing competitive baseball. That's what you want.
Right. Well, the other New York team, the New York Yankees, will start a 3-game series tonight against the Rays. And also, Mr. P, you must be a little happy. The New York Giants signed O.C. Umenyiora. So,
I think that's great. I think OC deserved the salary increase, and I'm glad to have him back for another year. It'll be his 10th year as a Giant, and look for a good season from him. He gave us a good season last year, although he was hurt a good portion of the beginning of the year. He came on strong, and he's one of the reasons we're Super Bowl champs. So good to have him on board again.
Right, and Mr. P, I wanted to talk about a little bit for Justin Blackmon, the wide receiver out of Oklahoma. He was drafted by the Jaguars.
Right.
and he got arrested for
Right.
suspicion of drunk driving.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. P, when you're just coming into the league,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to make that kind of appearance. You don't want to say,
No,
this is who I am.
no. It's unfortunate. Drunk driving is, not to be condoned at any age, but young people seem to be more prone to it because they don't know their limits yet. They're testing their limits. And it's dangerous not only to the person that's driving, to anybody else on the road. It's not a good way to start your career. No.
And speaking of driving, New Jersey is raising their ticket, I guess you could say, ticket prices if you text and drive or call or talk on the phone and drive. They raise it to $200.
I wish they'd raise it to $10,000. Tell you, that is very dangerous. People texting and driving, or on a cell phone and driving, distracted. It's a big problem.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is about raising prices. A lot of people will say, "Oh, well, you know what? They're not going to catch me. Let me just keep on doing it until they catch me." And once they do catch you, then that's going to be a pretty penny for you.
Well, it should be. It should be. You're when you're behind that wheel, you're in a
weapon.
A weapon. Yeah, it's a little steel container that you can kill people with. And I hate to say it, if you're distracted in any way, you need your full attention on the road. And these people that are on their cell phones or texting or whatever they're doing, they think they can just give 40 or 50% of their attention to the road. You have to give 100% attention to the road, especially in this area where there's so many drivers, there's so many bad drivers in my estimation, and you just got to keep your wits about you at all times. And I hate to see that. Goes along with drunk driving, full attention to that road.
And here in Hudson County, we have a lot of schools, a lot of schools, and to have a bunch of drivers going out there like they got their license out of a cereal box, it's you kind of have to worry, and you kind of have to tell think about it and say, you know what, maybe we have to raise our prices even more to tell people this is this has to stop. This cannot keep on going on.
When I was driving, when I learned to drive, they pushed defensive driving. That means not being aggressive when you drive. You have to be defensive. You have to look out for what's happening. When I come to school every morning, there's 100 obstacles I have to get through just in 3 miles. School buses, people crossing the road in the wrong, not at the crosswalks, in between cars, drivers, buses that are just irresponsible the way they drive. They cut you off. Hills, all kinds of potholes.
Oh yeah,
it's just amazing the different factors just to get from point A to point B around here.
Right, and putting aside the texting and driving, another reason why car accidents start is because people rush.
Right.
They try to rush to work. They try to rush wherever you want to go. And if you're in traffic, you're not going to be able to go through every single car on the road without hurting somebody or taking somebody's car out.
They're very impatient, so they get there a minute or two early. Big deal. I mean, are you willing to risk other people's lives for that?
Right.
I mean, so you get to work late, so this happens, so that happens. It's not worth getting in an accident over.
Exactly, right, exactly. Well, it's been an amazing year here on WHITradio.org. This is my last news show. Tomorrow we'll do our sports show, and that'll be the last show of the year. So please, everybody tune in tomorrow for my last show of the year, and have a fantastic rest of the day. Keep it locked here on the one and only WHITradio.org.
You're listening to the Dr. No Show on WHITradio.org.